My name is Cara Wells, and I'm with Wells Law here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've worked with Purview over the years quite a bit, and I use them in guardianships as well as outside of guardianships, and as well as personally too. I first heard about Purview Life when I was involved in a guardianship down in Sapulpa, Oklahoma, which was quite a few years back. And they were the guardian in the case that I was involved in. And I realized then what their role was. And I'd actually heard about them before at a luncheon, but it was one of those niches that you didn't really understand until you saw it in action. So I think that was the first time down in that Sapulpa case where I really saw how Purview Life helps in some litigious situations with family members and how they can play a role in making sure that things are under control more. I was an attorney for a family member in that case, and Purview Life had been appointed as a neutral third party because none of these family members could get along. And I think I was in agreement to have them appointed because we were at a standstill and things were just very tense. And so they came in as guardian of the person in this situation. It was an elderly person, and she was married. It was a second marriage. So you have kids from the previous marriage involved in their mother's life when she's becoming very ill, and it's an end-of-life matter. And the husband, on the other hand, sees that he should be taking care of her in a certain way where the kids don't agree. Purview Life comes in, reads that, understands it, knows that they have to be this kind of neutral third party, and they did an excellent job of it. So it was a really tough situation. After that, I realized that they could be a major role in the future cases that I had or issues with families that I had. I started using them more and more in guardianships. I've used them quite a few times for some mini mental exams. So when you get in a situation where you're going to do a guardianship and the family doesn't necessarily have any kind of documentation of some incapacity issues, and you don't want to run out and spend thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get a neurologist to do a psych eval, you can actually have Purview Life come out and do a mini mental capacity test, which helps a lot in the court. Purview Life is very well known, especially in Tulsa County Courthouse. They're very well respected, and when those tests come in, and if they say anything about incapacity, a lot of times the courts will respect their opinion on that, and it helps a lot with getting the guardianship court process moving along. I've used them in other aspects as well. Sometimes I get clients for estate planning, and they don't have a lot of family, and they have situations where they're eventually going to need help with their health care, but they sit there with their power of attorney document, and I'm like, okay, they may not have anyone at all to name, or they may have just one person, but they don't have an alternate. And that's a good opportunity for me to tell them, actually there's an agency here in town, Purview Life. They have a lot of people that can help in the area of power of attorney. Even if you don't name them as power of attorney, they can act as an agent for your power of attorney. And so that's an excellent role for Purview Life to play. And that can be a part of this person's estate plan. The other piece of this, personally for me, I've also used Purview Life on a consulting basis. My father suffers from Alzheimer's disease, and we have had a real issue in the past with medication. And I had quite a few caregivers that were not communicating correctly and not really telling each other when the medicines were taken. They were not organized at all. And I noticed my dad was having more and more difficulty with communicating, and the disease was more progressive, I felt like. And I talked to Purview Life just about the situation, and they kind of examined quite a few, possibilities there. And really, at the end of the day, their answer was, let's get the medicines a lot more organized, let's get them packaged, let's get them labeled day by day, and so it's very easy for the caregivers to know exactly what page everybody's on. You've got the date there, and that has been amazing. That has really helped me with that situation in a personal matter. Personally, for Purview Life, I think any family that's having difficulty with a family member as far as, their aging process, Another area that Purview Life has helped me with in situations is actually adults that have some mental health issues. I've sometimes gotten involved in guardianships where the child is an adult child of some parents and they suffer from schizophrenia, for example. Purview Life has helped them find placement for that person, group homes and things like that. They're very well connected. They know the community. A lot of their workers here at Purview Life have actually been in those other areas of work. Another example I have is I was serving as a guardian at one point of a man that was unable to find any place to stay. His family had completely abandoned him. He was being stuck in hospitals and not able to get out of hospitals. And then I finally started trying to get him into nursing care, long-term nursing care. And Purview Life was able to find placement for me to get him in long-term care. If you're on the fence of initiating Purview Life, I would tell them, go ahead and get a consult. It's not gonna cost you a lot of money. It's a good way to find out if they can help you or not. And a lot of times Purview Life will just talk to you anyways without charging you. So at least just check it out and see if what the services they have could help you, and most likely they will.